Greetings, I am Lies, and I use she, her.
And I am Scandal, and I use they, them.
And let's play a game together.
Oh, yeah.
I almost feel kind of bad going, let's play a game, when, there's this really sad face on the screen. I'm like, you're so stressed. On the other hand, Claire, I don't really super feel for you, because you've also exerted god powers over the main character to...
So, non-consensually shove them into a situation that they did not want to be in, and now have only had to adapt to because they can never figure out how to leave.
And also because you really are completely in charge of this situation. Additionally, the whole experience of going, so you told us what to draw and what to do, and this character, while a lot of main characters are pretty passive to the story around them, this one again has been established as a youth, a young person in high school, and going, you have this powerful creature at this point, because regular people can't do that, and also a drawing is not the same as an organic person.
No, not even slightly.
That has pulled you into a 2D environment and transformed your entire reality, and then immediately started giving you orders and directions on what to do. And in the same way that Sketchy was very volatile and very reactive and not communicative, she has been deeply uncommunicative.
Yes.
At all. And the thing is going, I appreciate that someone can go, well, I did this thing and I hoped for this stuff and then I panicked. But also it's like, yes, though this isn't really a good approach.
Yeah, no.
It's really not. Like, you may not be mature enough to have a better approach, and you may not have any standards of realizing you're approaching a young person where they may have drawn you as an adult. Who knows? But yeah, this is very odd. I just needed to be honest with you. This is just something I had to do for myself. Now, go marry the love of your life.
Claire... With that, Claire was gone, lost in a sea of incoming scribbles, symbols, and margin notes, all who had arrived for the wedding.
Did you draw all those things?
I imagine so, because this is supposed to be the conglomerate, but we've never seen anything else, which I also think is really weird. I'm like...
Well, also when you say symbols and margin notes, and I doodled her while staring at my teacher, so the other things that exist in this reality are school notes.
Yeah.
And they're all alive.
Yep.
Except for potentially the actual writing you did to take notes in school. Only anything that could be considered a doodle.
Yes.
And then it doesn't sound like you actually added hardly anything to this world. Again, like, you, the ME, doesn't like to draw.
No, not at all. It's time.
Oh no, that's
a little
cute.
arch.
The waiter!
Hi. Do you, most shapely and handsome creator, take Sketchy as your lawful drawing for life? To have and to hold? Like, it's okay, whatever. Your wedding.
We haven't drawn
from
anything else
forward.
It's just the waiter. The waiter is the only other person. Literally, this character does not like to draw.
No, not at all.
And you're living in a
for
world
better or for worse.
Of your own drawings.
For richer or for poorer, which you can write yourself into all you want. I mean, draw yourself into all you want. You'll have no limitations. Again, I'm like, this world sounds great, honestly, in that sense. Like, heck. Yeah, just like, why would you ever want to leave? But it also makes sense that you should be allowed to have that choice. Like, your character, your ME, the ME doesn't have any choice to be able to leave here. We're literally stuck.
Additionally, even if the ME is going, hey, this is really cool, they still have connections in real life, and if real time is passing, their parents, because most people live with a caretaker, guardian, or parent when they're in high school, are probably going nuts looking for them.
Yeah, pretty much. In sickness and in health, to love and to cherish until death do you part.
The only option. Why do we even have that option?
Why does it even exist? I do. And to you, Sketchy, take your creator as your lawful creator for life, to have and to hold from this day forward, for better or for worse.
Also, it occurs to me that they're not calling the creator me.
Nope.
Or anything else, or any name.
Nope.
They literally, all of the beings in this sketch pad, cannot see you as anything other than basically this deific icon figure of creator.
That is sort of a little bit terrifying in that sense. Like, socially speaking, I would say that's a power dynamic that is unaddressed. It is, you are always the creator. You are not Gary or John or May or, Rain or Blueberry or whatever your name is. You are creator, and you are very distinctly this other thing.
And the thing is going, you have this experience where, assumably, the main character, as a person, has a name. Because, in real world, we name each other.
Mm-hmm.
And we name ourselves.
Oh, heck yeah.
And the thing is going, you are marrying someone. It feels incredibly childish in this way. Again, young person, high schooler.
Yep.
Of going, I don't mind that no one uses my name and everyone just calls me creator. That's kind of either a weird concession of, is this an altered reality where we've been made to agree to these rules?
Right, we've actually literally been forced to be a drawing, evidenced by the fact that actually canonically we erased our tears and did something else.
Well,
our sweat, excuse me.
I say, and it has potentially actually changed us, forced us into different behaviors and beliefs. Or an experience of going, I'm on some kind of a weird power trip being creator, and I'm going to marry one of my creations, and they will call me creator.
Hey, baby.
If that's not kinky, I don't know what is.
Like, again, unexamined power dynamics.
Yep.
For better or for worse, for richer or for poorer, in sickness and in health, and a very specific line to cherish and to love and to cherish until death do you part.
Also going,
do you ever die?
Do most of those things even exist here? Does death exist here? Does sickness exist here? Does money exist here? If the creator has created this world, if the ME has made all of this, are those just the vows they've heard and know because they're a young person?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, so a lot of people come up with their own ceremonies. They do not have to look like this at all. This is a very stereotypical type of Christian sort of movie pushed kind of thing.
Yep. We are a young person that has only seen movie weddings.
Yep, that's it. Or you've only been to a very specific set of weddings yourself when you were a kid.
I do.
Then, with the power vested in me and my culinary table-serving knowledge, I now pronounce you spouse and spouse. How you may kiss each other. Go nuts! I held Sketchy by the waist and kissed them passionately. The scribbles cheered wildly as they convulsed around the page.
There we go. A truly non-gendered game.
A truly super non-gendered.
Oh, that's your perfect bed.
After the ceremony, I carried my newfound partner into the bedroom of our newly drawn house.
I will tend to say that there is coding again, assuming that a boy is playing this game.
Yeah, well,
specifically calling you handsome instead of attractive.
Yeah.
Specifically, I will carry
Which
you,
I feel like
and I will propose. ME proposes, ME carries them. That kind of thing. There is, while the game is non-gendered and doesn't call the ME a boy, there is a lot of coding to assume that dudes are playing this game and made girls to romance.
Mm-hmm.
Which is interesting.
Yeah, it kind of is.
It is also interesting that they are resolutely non-gendering anything and still have those themes.
But that's literally why I said, okay, I don't know how to explain this, but I feel like the person, for example, who did the art of Claire, at least to me, that art style, I really only aggressively saw with guys. Okay. I don't know how to describe it, but there is actually a specific way that, AFABs versus AMABs, whenever I grew up with people, tended to draw things. There is actually a drawing style that I don't know how to explain. That is more common.
Gendered.
It doesn't mean that it always happens, but it is more common that you're going to see a certain set of characteristics or things drawn in a very specific way. Mm-hmm. So, I don't know. That's just me. I'm going hey.
Additionally, this is interestingly, yes, a young person's idea of how things work.
Yeah.
You have a wedding. Everyone comes to it. It looks like a very specific thing. Your spouse, your to-be, throws a fit about it, and then you go immediately and have a wedding night. Honeymoon isn't hanging out and doing shit for a week on a vacation as adults. It's a wedding night.
Yeah, I mean it.
So,
shall we, consummate our union? Oh my god.
That's so formal. That's so formal. Oh my god. I suppose so?
No.
No?
What do you mean?
I don't know. I've never done anything like this before. I mean, according to the ME, they've never done anything like this before either.
I mean,
and
neither have I.
Really funny that they're just and now we're just gonna do this. Yeah.
Also, it sounds like you've had very little to no sex education at all, and possibly have had little to no sexual exploration on your own, and I would like to encourage a healthier sex life than that, even if with just yourself. Or it might be, again, as I said, they sound like an asexual. Sort of just going, yeah, these are the things in the robot life that I expect because they're so inundated in my cultural experience. I'm
not into anyone.
I'm not actually into anyone. I just expect that I'm supposed to be, but I literally don't care.
And also, again, if Claire controls this reality as essentially a god of this reality, even though they're calling Creator the god of this reality, because Claire is, in many ways, running the show. You can't just, like there's a level of her being able to pull up the drawing box and command you, and also pull you in here and, you know, theoretically get you out again and stuff like that, as well as possibly bringing herself to life, because nothing else in here has expressed an idea, opinion, or liveliness other than you directly creating it and or commanding it.
Right. I mean, neither have I.
So I'm thinking that this is gonna be one, real awkward, but two, real, like, how do people picture this goes? What have I seen in the movies?
Right?
I don't know. Something feels wrong about it. I mean, you're literally mostly ahead.
Wrong? What could be wrong about it? We love each other. We're married. What more could we have?
Isn't each other 2 words?
I
think it is. It's okay.
I don't know. I cannot remember.
It's just... I don't know. Babe, can I ask you something?
Of course!
Anything, as I've laid you on the bed.
Uh-huh.
If we don't tonight, will you be upset?
I mean, of course not. I love you, after all. If you really feel strongly about not doing it tonight, then yeah, I guess that's fine.
Kisses on the first date, continues to kiss and cuddle, and for weeks and months, the dates continue on and progress, but not anything physically progressing.
That is sort of wild.
And you have immaculately, completely, created alone time together.
Yeah.
Like, there's nobody walking in on you. There's nobody interrupting anything. Like, I would tend to say Sketchy's not into it, and neither is Emmy.
Yeah, because you're actually asexual. So the other thing also that I propose here, too, that I find to be very charming with the concept of, basically, so Sketchy, canonically, for what we've drawn of this idea of a guy going, hey, I'm not interested, could we not?
Yeah.
Like, I like that commentary that we inadvertently have now plopped in here of a dude going, I'm actually really uncomfortable, can we not?
Yeah, I didn't, when I said I would marry you, I wasn't picturing this, and we didn't talk about this part. Or if I had the idea in my head, once I got here, I'm like, I really can't do this.
And also then, even just for myself, on my own level, for what I was drawing, I really just appreciate anybody really being able to go, hey, that's really cool, that someone would go like, hey, I'm not comfortable,
that's not
can I express that?
And going, it doesn't seem like we've never had a lot of good communication demonstrated in this game yet, but like, this is really good.
Yeah, I like this.
And going, hey, can I assert a boundary?
But also, I guess that's fine if we're not doing it tonight. I'm like, that sounds weird.
I would say this is, again, it sounds like a young person game, but this is how it works.
Right.
And even a young person that doesn't necessarily have identified sexuality or any sexual drive going, but that's what you do.
Yeah.
And so you're excited and motivated about, but this is the thing you
do, right?
Not about sex specifically, about doing the process of the adult stuff.
All right.
You seem kind of upset already.
Do I?
Yeah. What? Like you hesitated, you know?
No, not at all. I'm just surprised is all. I would think you would have wanted this too. Except that if I am drawn by you, I express your desires.
But when we originally drew Sketchy, we were just being... Dang it, I keep bumping the microphone. Sorry, I will hold my hand still. No more gesturing for me?
Gesture over here.
Gesture.
Come this way.
Yonder. Okay. I gesture further away in a very small space.
Thanks.
So anyway, I was going to say, basically, Sketchy would have been drawn with your ideas and desires at the time.
Yes.
Which would have been basically under duress creating a drawing that's a person.
Yeah.
And not necessarily someone that's specifically into you, and having a vague idea of, right, dream date, sure, which doesn't go to wedding.
Yeah, no kidding.
So the bit of to wedding and to marriage is not included in Sketchy's original concept.
Yeah.
I do want it. Just not right now. It doesn't feel right yet.
You've gone slowly into cowboy.
I know, slowly.
Could you at least tell me what?
I literally cannot sex the way you sex things. Oh, sorry. Just want you to trust me on this. I'd rather not talk about it.
Okay. That's fine then.
I love you.
I love you too.
Yay!
Now I'm confusion. Is this not what the check marks in the box look like?
Have you done the proper marriage if you don't check off all of the boxes of the adult things that I am familiar with?
I've read some horrible stories about people who are like, this was the thing that I planned for my whole life, and then I did the thing, and then I felt like a horrible monster because I did the thing, and now I was no longer the pure.
So I have to say, I mean, that's a very Christian one, but I have to say myself, in reference to not knowing that I was demisexual or what it was when I was younger, and having a sex drive, but generally it's not pointed at anything. Because, sort of in that asexual kind of way of going, you can still have a sex drive, but it's not driven at anyone or anything.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, sometimes you're horny, I guess.
Yeah,
best way to describe it. Anyway,
having a biological experience.
Yeah, potentially, or a hormonal experience, which is also biological. So yeah, that. Anyway, so this experience of going, there were times where I was like, I thought it had to be pointed at something. I thought, because of the way I'd been raised, that if you were feeling sexually motivated, it meant towards a person. And so I would sort of artificially create that in myself out of sort of this sort of restless energy of going, but I feel this thing, so it has to be that thing. Or it would be conflated with a desire for affection, especially in reference to like men going, oh, well, if you want affection, that means relationship and sex.
Yeah. Oh God.
And so I had a lot of experiences, and I don't mean like not necessarily with a whole lot of people, but a lot of even repeat experiences with the same person, like if I was dating them or whatever, where I wasn't really into doing that, but I didn't understand what it was I did want.
Right.
At all. And it was just, but that's the thing you do. Mm-hmm.
Months went by and married life went on as to be expected, with neither of us having or needing jobs. Well, with everything being at the tip of our fingers, we just spent our days in the house. We'd while away the hours of every day eating, talking, and watching reruns of my own movies on the Doodle Vision channel. We'd even whip up some internet and video games to pass the time.
You sound bored AF.
But that was just it. Passing the time. Every night we would try again to consummate our union, and every night it wouldn't happen.
This is again.
Or it didn't happen.
Okay, this sounds like the like ME is extremely focused on the only thing I'm doing here: eating, hanging out with you, playing games, watching movies. Waiting for the sex. This sounds like a guy dating a girl. And forgive me, this is the most common experience I'm familiar with in reference to American guys of going, I am heading for
the relationship,
the sex.
yeah.
And I'm
always.
specifically like allosexual guys, because this is not going to be applying to asexual people for sure. I would say, but that having this experience of the reason you get the relationship is to do the sex, and you're just kind of waiting for, in general, her to get through whatever it is so you can get to the sex.
Right.
And like, there's this real particular behavior that I'm experienced with, that I've seen, pointed at me and many other, women that I've known, where it is a guy just kind of going, I really am just passing the time to get to the sex. I am doing the activities to earn or unlock the sex.
You've literally had guy friends who've also literally complained at this to you, and I've been there, and I was like,
I was dating her, and we were really close, and I really liked her, and it was so good, and then she broke up with me, and I didn't even get sex out of it.
Because the only thing that he really cared the most about in the end was going, God,
either
I didn't even get sex out of it.
It was either infinite relationship, this doesn't end, so I have the relationship, or if it's going to end, I need to at least be compensated with sex, so I got something out of it other than just wasting my time on a failed relationship.
Yep.
Like, I have had dudes that I have known that have been, good acquaintances or like distant friends that have just like vomited this on me before about, their girl experiences, and I'm like, whoa.
It didn't happen. I don't like to consider myself superficial or sexually driven. What? Neither of those things are bad.
You can be
But you
superficial.
are honestly also... Fine, it's fine. But I must admit, it was starting to get to me. Was I just not cut out for married life? You didn't know that you're asexual. Both
And
of you are
neither
goddamn
of you
asexual.
knew. Yeah, I just...
Like, that's all it is.
Hey, dear. Figure out what we're going to do for dinner tonight? Since I can't create or do anything, you've basically been not only the breadwinner, but the house partner, and, the everything, because I can't make or do anything. So, I've never thought about that it might be a burden on you at all to do all this stuff, but, darling, what do you want to do? Because you're going to be the one to do it.
No, no, I haven't thought of that yet.
Well, would you think up something soon? I'm getting kind of hungry. I mean, theoretically, I don't need to eat as I don't have a digestive tract.
I'm
but
literally just a walking head.
some food would sure be nice.
Sure be nice for
A
a walking
scooting
head
head.
like me.
Huh?
I don't suppose you could whip something up.
They do nothing in this relationship. Excuse me?
You know, maybe I don't have to make us something every night.
Well, I'm not the one who can magically draw us up meals.
I mean, does cooking not exist here?
Since you haven't drawn it as existing here, no. Anything you want exists here. That's the point.
So if I want you to make a dinner, you can?
Ooh. Okay. Not having it with this attitude you got here, you need a minute? Because I can only give you a few days on your own. Because I can give you a few days on your own. Is that what you want?
I'm threatening to leave you now.
Yep.
I want you to contribute to our little house here every once in a while.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not contributing. I'm not spending every day of my existence with you, talking about you, watching the things you make. The whole world is about you, and you're growing up. You're starting to become more of a person, and this is driving you nuts. You're realizing that this world is absolutely ME-centered, and that you are only existing, as you questioned earlier, for their pleasure, and while that might be okay for a time, you want more out of your life, especially since ME seems to be immature and limited themselves, and cannot offer you much.
Also, at the same time, too, you know, that kind of reminds me of, like, at least for me, why sometimes I get very confused where, I don't know how many of you guys who are watching are at all familiar with, like, self-insert fanfiction, but that's kind of, like, the thing that I sort of get out of this, actually, is a situation going, I don't think you realize it's all about you, and after a while, if you actually did have that ability to react, and you'd be like, all of this is focused or centered on you, and how tiring if somebody was to really become aware of that, going like, God, I don't feel like I'm heard at all. No, but they're deeply satisfied by everything being focused on or about me. And I'm like, that's, to me, like, as I've gotten older, I think that's the reason why I just go, like, it's not a bad thing. I'm not calling it bad because it is a fantasy for a reason. But I think it's one of the things where you go, it doesn't sound like a partnership. And as I've gotten older, it really has been that thing of going, there's no equality there. It's just about, it is just a fantasy. It is so ridiculously self-indulgent, especially if you're going to have a relationship, a partnership.
Well, and I was going to contrast the two things of going, there's the self-insert fan fiction, where it's like, it's all about me, and then there's this sort of the dating game fiction where in a lot of cases, it's all about them.
Yeah.
Your MCs are frequently super bland and super non-involved, and there's most of the scenes are about getting to know the love interest
and directing the love interest and helping
interactions
them,
of the love interest and telling the story of the love interest and not really having any opinions, even though the game is based on choices. They're not really opinion choices. They're choices based on where do I want to go in the story for and with them.
Yeah.
And like self-indulgent fiction, there was no problem with that.
Oh,
No
God,
shame
no,
at all.
please.
But it's like both of us have kind of outgrown it as we've decided, you know, through very, very different life paths and very different, you know, ultimate experiences, as, you know, just like it's a thing we relate on as friends of going, partnership and equality is amazing.
Yeah.
And like having someone that is your teammate, isn't over you or under you, is really, really cool.
What I'm saying is socialism.
I was gonna say, and the thing is like, there is this difference between, like, and my friend pointed out this really interesting thing about, main character, or your name or self-insert fan fiction at one point, but sort of in an indirect way, and I'm not sure if they know exactly what I'm talking about yet here.
Nope, I'm confused.
Okay, but so we've done some canon, like, or pseudo-canon role-playing at this point, where we've grabbed some characters from Boku no Hero Academia and actually, like, put in some OCs and stuff like that and played with them. And the thing is like, there's a point where my friend was like, they had this character, and there's this, you know, if you have the characters, it's the really desirable hot character from the series, then everybody's like, oh my God, I just want you to be into me. The fantasy with that self-insert fiction is to be into me. When my friend was in that character, they're like, but that's not exciting for you as a partner, because it's just about them basically being completely overwhelmed by you, not interacting with you and your experience.
Yeah.
And it was kind of a cool thing to talk about kind of thing, and being like, there's this sort of thing of like, if you are that person that is just expected to visit an experience on someone who is just completely overwhelmed by you, that's a kind of experience, but it doesn't create a partner relationship, even in sex and romance.
And the thing is also, in that case, if you were more talking about what I would consider to be a more adult or involved relationship, I would call that more like a clearly like consensual, discussed kink situation. What you're asking for is something very specific, and also that's a behavior and a thing you both agree to, rather than just going, this thing just happens.
It just happens that I am completely overwhelmed.
This is again where I'm like, that's fiction and this is reality, and that's what I would ask for in reality. But sometimes I just find it to be really interesting. Sometimes also where I will have read different, stories that people will write, and there's not a lot of discussion, even in regards to some of these. And you're like, no, I'd be really thoughtful about it. And you're like, yeah, but like you're not.
I was gonna say, every time we get they really communicate about the relationship. We're like, when?
Oh my god, we've run into so many otomes. Like you could find them all over our game, like the games that we've played. Holy cow, we streamed a couple too.
All right, about you, and it's really just like nobody communicates about anything.
No, I mean, I suppose.
Yeah. You ever stop and think maybe I don't like that? I don't have a background, wants and desires, no history or taste to call my own? All I am is something meant to physically suit you. Well, 4 things to physically suit me, potentially.
No desires, no wants. Well, you should desire to never have sex every night.
To never have sex every night. Oh my god, you sound so much, again, like
you sound like a guy
who's really overwhelmed. Also, though, like your words have gotten disorganized.
Yeah, no kidding. What's that?
Oh, so we're going there, huh? What, our lives together aren't good enough for you if you can't get off on me? Wow, that's direct. Is that what I am to you? Someone to fool around with after months and months and months? I don't think you would come to that conclusion specifically, but that's an interesting thing.
I love that awareness, and also like here's the art that you drew. I'm having the social I'm having a weird. This is a lot. This is a lot to unpack.
I was gonna say also that got very serious and very deep very fast. From the I'm not satisfied with my life, it's all about you, and then going, hang on. So you're not satisfied either. And you're not satisfied because you want this other thing, this thing that I don't offer. And you're not satisfied because of one feature.
But also,
I have a lot of things that I'm not satisfied about because I literally can't make any choices. But you're just dissatisfied for this one thing, as far as you say.
Yeah, that you just can't get off. Except for also, like, it seems like to me, again, the character is mostly interested in that because that's the thing that's supposed to happen. My checklist isn't complete. What the fuck?
That's what it seems like Emmy is after, going, but this is the thing married people do.
No, but would it kill you to try? Would it? Whoa, you are...
To try. Maybe. Just maybe, if you stop to consider anyone but yourself for a moment, you'd realize why that is.
Would you just tell me? I'm not trying to push anything on you. I just want to know what's wrong.
You want to know what's wrong? Me? Nothing about me is real, and nothing about me is mine. You've been around since the day I've existed, and everything I've done has revolved around you in one way or another. Actually, it hasn't, good Sketchy, because you specifically explained that the first night after you guys hung out, dated, that you went walking around and looking at stuff on your own, and that you developed your own activity of I really like just looking around and doing stuff.
Except that they do also have a point of going, I, though, haven't been able to put any mark on the world. This is all still
and that part
world.
Is correct. Like, part of that is correct, but also, like, the Sketchy is exaggerating a little bit as well, going,
oh, yeah.
I've never been able to do anything, and everything I've done has been about you. It's like, actually, between dates, you have had an establishing shot of you do things on
you
your
have
own.
A routine. You have things you do. Yeah, like you guys
There
spend
wasn't,
all
like
the
I said,
time with each other.
There was an establishing shot that you did stuff on your own when you guys were apart.
And I mean, I like where this is going, but yeah, I'm kind of with my friend going, it's not following through very
On the other hand, Sketchy could just be overwhelmed and therefore, just make it going to extremes. You know? Except for one thing I have to call my own. The body you gave to me.
Except that
you just said you drew me and that's a problem, so...
What? No, that actually
was a direct contradiction of going, you drew me, even my appearance isn't my own, but my body is my own?
What?
Nothing is my own about me that you created me for you, but my body is my own?
What?
That doesn't work for me.
That doesn't work for me at all. That's a complete contradiction / backpedal.
And that's one thing I don't know if I'm willing to give up. Because if you have sex, then your body isn't your own anymore.
that sounds like a very interesting perspective to have about sex. Though I will admit, it has been a toxic one that I've encountered before, like specifically about, again, that very Christian, like, this is the
Your
act of
body is
sharing
then combined with the other person's eternally.
And also makes this sort of, to me, still sound like a guy wrote this. Because I gave up my virginity to you. I am no longer, which virginity is an outdated concept and I think should be burned and set on fire. But like, what?
But yeah, that's wild. I was just like, you don't give up your body to have sex with someone, but also like, is that what the ME expects? Like, you will literally surrender your entire body. They will, you know, basically create the sexual experience with you.
That is weird. I've never thought about it like that. Well, you're a child.
On the other
hand, it makes sense.
I was like, also going, okay, so Sketchy is like, I don't have anything that's mine, but I do have my body. I don't want to give it up to you. But like Sketchy, you've done holding hands, cuddling, and kissing. And yes, there was that one hesitation, which could be considered an establishing shot of the psychology behind it, of going, when I kissed you, I went, whoa, I initiated, but I'm not sure how I feel about this.
Right.
You know, the beginning of this sort of thing. But also going, it never says any of those actions ceased, so why don't those things give your body away, but sex does? Unless, again, you're going for that traditional ideal.
I was about to say, that is a very, to me, based on my background, my history, my education, my religious abuse and upbringing, sex...
It's a really Christian thing of going, it changes you forever.
Yeah, like you, and especially, again, if you're saying for an AFAB individual, you are literally, like, you are told that you will be garbage, you will be trash, you'll be used gum, you will be a torn up rose, like all the purity culture algorithm, like allegories that people use,
nightmarish.
So frightening. Anyway.
Alright, so, yeah. Saying it out loud for the first time, kind of helps me see what it is I really want in life.
And we're gonna have to see what you want in life
in the next one. Damn, bro, this got deep real fast.
But we're already there, and I feel like, again, like I said last time, I don't think it's going to go as hard as we've been sort of mashing on it.
No,
but it's still doing, you know, other things. Yeah.
And I like that it's actually building on the themes, you know, of before, where clearly Claire liked you, and then that resolved. So like there is setup and payoff in this game.
Right.
And then you have setup of, you know, Sketchy going, I'm not sure how I feel about this, but then it never follows through. But then here would be the payoff of going, I continue to do those behaviors without examining them, even though I was hesitant. But then now I'm like, whoa, now I'm examining.
Right. Which again, I'm like, it is interesting, and it is fun for me to go, okay, so really the character we're playing is a child, but that's okay. Anyway, so we will deal though with more of this in the next one. So if you like what we do, please feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and also share our videos if you are having a good time with us. Please also feel free to check out our Ko-Fi and our Patreon. We have some links in the description down below, and we have some games that we would like to play if you would like to support us doing that. So feel free to go check out that list in the Ko-Fi, actually.
Yes.
And also feel free to check us out on Twitch. Hey! Because we do play games live about 3 times a week. And other than that, though, I have been Scandal.
And I have been Lies.
And it was great playing with you. Bye!